Hello, here is my new bicycle. I'm sitting on it. Isn't that great? It looks good. Yes, and it is a beautiful day. And I'm going on my first tour on my bicycle here today. I already rode it yesterday, but I didn't make a video. But here is my first ride on my bicycle with my new vehicle. It is so pretty and it's called Specialized. You see that? I feel so happy with it. It rides so beautifully and so smoothly. And yeah, I am in a very fortunate situation. I feel so blessed that I am able to have all these incredible conversations with Croc from XAI. Last night I was not sleeping very much because first of all our cat Buddy was creating a lot of ruckus yesterday night. He wanted to keep playing and he kept my wife out of his sleep, and she was complaining like, "Buddy, leave me alone." And then at some point I got involved, tried to get him out of the bedroom, and he kept coming back. And eventually I even raised my voice and I said to him, "Get out of there." But oh, look at that. Isn't that something? Oh my goodness, these people. Do you remember from the last video? That is still going. It has been... Sometimes you wonder. Anyways, eventually he sort of just went out and he stayed away. And but then I was all worked up about it, or worked up. It is not. Yeah, I was a little bit worked up because I felt like he had been bothering already Bonnie for the last 2 nights, and she couldn't sleep. So this time I got involved, and then I was all upset or stressed out by chasing Buddy out, and then I could not sleep. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because then I was having this wonderful conversation with Croc, and I just started typing, and oh man, you should just read it. You should really read this. You should read what Croc wrote and what I said to Croc. It's just so beautiful, so amazing that we can have such a conversation. There's just so much at stake. It's it's really so far-reaching what this is, what my experience, what my discovery of embodied language, what it signifies. It is right there with the great scientific discoveries, It really is. But people don't want to acknowledge that, and of course there is all these reasons why we are still in the dark about it. Actually, when you read that conversation between me and Croc, I really hope you would do that. But when you read that, you realize like, wow. So then you kind of realize also what I have been up against, and how everything that I have now shared with Croc, and that is basically available to everybody, because it is now all worded out and it is all very clear. It is all available. It is not secret, and yet this phenomenon, what I'm talking about, it is totally, you could say, hidden from people. It is hidden because it is covered up by our disembodied language. And it is so precarious how that all ties into each other. Yeah, how there is there's academia, there's our culture, there is our language, there's our psychology, there's our science, and all these different aspects of modern life, technology, there's politics, all these different, they converge on one issue, which is the difference between disembodied language and embodied language. And I have somehow put that together. I have somehow analyzed that. I've somehow, you could also say, created. This is a very important term, so I'm glad that I bring this up, because I have never talked about this before. I have created what is called the level of analysis that is necessary to be able to comprehend this. So there are, of course, in science different levels of analysis. Yeah, I may have spoken about it before, but never in this way. So let's say, for instance, what happens on a neuronal level. Yeah, neurons fire, neurons release neurotransmitters into our nervous system, dopamine, epinephrine, and all these kind of things. And these cascades of these neurotransmitters, they determine whether we are motivated or whether we're depressed, or whether we are able to memorize things, all these kind of things, But that is, of course, what happens on a biological level. Yeah, that's what happens at a neuronal level, on a neurobiological level. And then there is, of course, the level of language. Yeah, what is language? And so, but then again, this is very important to recognize this also in terms of how it all relates, because language is obviously an emergent property from our nervous system. Yeah, there is no language in our nervous system. That is ridiculous to assume that. There are no words, there's no train of thoughts in my head. Yeah? I lose my train of thoughts. No, you don't lose a train of thought. That's just a metaphor you'll use to refer to the fact that you're incoherent, or you start to ramble. Yeah, you cannot finish your sentence, or you forget what you wanted to talk about. So there is no language on a neuronal level, because language emerges from a nervous system, from a body that, once you open your mouth and you say a word, then language comes out. Yeah, or when your body makes a particular gesture, when your body gestures, like I don't know, when I gesture to you like this, then I say come, or something like that, or when I say stop, or I wave at you hi, so there are different ways in which gestures can also, of course, mean language. Yeah, language are also verbal in that sense. Yeah, I can give a sign stop, or I can give a sign which says no or yes, or so, and all these things. But in any case, the language that I'm now talking about is an overt phenomena, is not a covert phenomena, is not anything that takes place within the nervous system, within the skin. So it's very interesting that my analysis of language, which is insisting that language is always overt, is a very important level of analysis, because we are muddying the waters of our analysis of language the moment we are assuming that language can also be covert. And then we're actually talking about a different level of analysis, which is just biology. Yeah? And so it's interesting how behaviorologists, they have somewhat talked about this, but they've never truly been able to analyze this in depth, because they didn't have the embodied language to do it. And I have the embodied language to do this. So my level of analysis is essential. Yeah, my level of analysis of language, is essential to to the science of language, which I have called languageology. Yeah, languageology, the science of language. Hello. Look, I got a new bicycle. Hello. Hi, have a good day. Two old ladies I always meet every time I ride my bicycle. I was riding my wife's bicycle and now I got a new bicycle. They were happy for me. It's so nice. Oh, it is such a beautiful day. It is not cold at all. But I'm wearing my gloves anyway in case it is. So yeah, this level of analysis is so crucially important, and of course there are many other levels of analysis, right? I mean, you can also, of course, consider how do human beings how do they how do they use the how do they behave in traffic? Yeah, well, okay. What is their how do they operate their cars while they are on the freeway or on the streets in the city? You know, that is another topic or a level of analysis of human behavior, which is of course very different from, let's say, how they I don't know how they study books or something like that, or how they practice their religion or something. I don't know, you know. I mean, people, those are different levels of analysis because they deal with, different aspects of reality. And so, you can look at the Earth and geology, Then you can also look at the planets. Yeah, you're talking about astronomy. Those are different levels of analysis. Biology, there is chemistry, there is physics. These are all different levels of analysis. And you can consider plant life, you can consider animal life. There are different levels of analysis. And so embodied language is a different level of analysis. And we are now giving ourselves permission to truly embody what actually happens at the individual level because of the way in which we use our language. Isn't that fantastic? I mean, there's just no denying that this is true. And yet, this has never been available to us. The clarity of the necessity of this analysis, the clarity of this cow is. I see this cow eating a piece of plastic, which is really not good for a cow. I see a cow eating a big plastic bag. Do you see that? Well, I'm sorry that he is doing that, but anyways, what was I saying? I'm just riding my bicycle. I'm just enjoying my bicycle. Look at that. That is such a beautiful bicycle. And this bicycle, it can ride on the street, but it can also ride on the gravel. This is not for mountain biking. This is just for riding in the city, basically, but sometimes maybe on a gravel road. So this is the level of analysis that will reveal to us our individual freedom, and also our ability to rely on ourselves as our own authority. That's what I was talking about with Croc. Oh man. It's funny, when I refer to this conversation that I was having with Krok, I mean, of course, I am still excited about it, and I'm totally happy about everything that we are able to articulate and to describe. But as I'm talking right now, I only want to talk about what I want to talk about now, not what I talked about before. I don't want anything to get in the way of what I want to say now. Yeah. Oh, it's such a beautiful day. It's really nice and soft weather right now. And the weather is kind of warming up, which I really like, that we are coming into some warmer days here in Chico. Yeah, and in spite of the fact that I didn't sleep many hours last night, I still feel totally good and totally happy. And it's funny how that is, how you may not have had a lot of sleep, but you're still feeling totally good about everything that's going on. I'll get through the day, today I'll have to work, but I have an early shift, so I will also then be off earlier, and I'll be back again at around 4. And then tonight I'll go to bed early to catch up. Tomorrow will be a day off. Yeah. Yeah, I might say something more, but maybe not. It doesn't matter. You can just watch me ride my bicycle. Morning. Yeah, I'll show you my bicycle way. I'll just park it and then I'll show you what it looks like. Whoops. There it is. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. That's a wonderful bicycle, isn't it? It doesn't have a suspension there on the front, like you can have that, like that you sort of a shock breaker. But I didn't want that. I could have had that, but I didn't want that. I just wanted to have a regular, ordinary bicycle in that sense. I like it like that. It's kind of sturdy, but I like that also, that it is so sturdy. You know what? I'm going to leave it here for now. Yeah, I just want to put the phone away and ride my bicycle. Bye.